Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Blubaugh, the Sedgwick County Commission. Today I'm joined with Deanna Aspedon. Deanna, thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome.
So you've been here with the county quite a while, but you have just been named our new appraiser in January. So would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I have actually been at the county for 27 years in the Sedgwick County Appraiser's Office. I started out as a field appraiser in agriculture and residential, and I did that for several years, and then I came into the office. We had the opportunity, Sedgwick County GIS did our extractions and our land use cover, and then they allowed us to take over that. And when I realized we were going to get that opportunity, I had shown interest in wanting to do that. There was an opportunity to go back to residential as the field manager, and I decided to go back as the field manager, and I did that for about 5 years, oversaw ag, residential reinspection, and new construction. And then there was an opportunity to go back on another point of view where I could see more of the departments, and it was to oversee the support staff for the whole office. And so I did that for many years, and it came to a fact where I had an opportunity to go back to residential again, but this time as a project leader. So I was a project leader for about 5 years, and now I have had the opportunity to become the Sedgwick County Appraiser, and so I'm delighted. I have great staff that work for me. I couldn't ask for better staff. The challenge now, I think, mainly with our office is the fact of either sustainability to keep them there, to keep them trained, because it's a very unique profession. You know that with being in real estate, that to set the values is opinion of value, of course, and so you definitely have to train the staff to understand what drives value and what doesn't drive value, and so it takes about 3 to 5 years for you to actually really understand what you're doing to go through, because it's cyclical, and we're all based off of statutory requirements. So
that's one thing I really appreciate about you. I've been a broker for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Back in those days, you were working in the real estate industry. You understand the difference in value as to a realtor is going to go out and do a broker price opinion.
Yes.
It's all opinion, but you have a lot different, you have a lot more boxes to check as to your appraisals compared to what a broker price opinion would look like.
That is true, mainly because we're driven by state statute. We do have an oversight agency, the Property Valuation Department,
PVD,
the PVD, and they make sure that we're doing that we're staying in check with industry standards. A lot of their compliance is based off of industry standards, so it's nothing really new to us, but it's just just another check and balance to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And so it's a good thing.
How many people are in your staff?
We have close to 70. We're not fully staffed right now. So, but we're in the process of doing so. Of course, since I promoted out of the project leader position, that position's open. So, and some other ones. So we're working through that, and going to be working through with HR and making sure that we have everything we need in reference to our staffing and finance to make sure we're doing the right thing on that. So
do you recall how many different parcels are there that you have to evaluate each year?
Our parcel count right now, to be exact, is 243,782.
So you don't have to guess,
So yes, one thing about it, we're very big on numbers. Just like when you're in the real estate industry, you have to be.
Sure.
You have to be a number person, but you have to also be a people person too, because it's an emotional thing.
Very.
And with people and their homes and property taxes they pay. I mean, granted, our appraised value plays a huge role in that formula to determine their taxes, but we take extra care to make sure that, that we're doing right by the citizens of Sedgwick County and of course the commissioners, because, you guys are the ones that appointed me to do this position. But
and I appreciate the diligence you put into it, because you want to be as exact as you can, because if somebody's overpaying, probably a good chance somebody's underpaying too.
exactly. And I'm a property owner.
Yep.
I pay property tax.
Yep.
I don't want to pay any more of my fair share.
Right,
So
right.
exactly. So I understand completely.
How did each of these positions help better prepare you for your transition to the responsibilities you have today leading our appraisal office?
I've been able to dip into almost every area in the office before I applied for this position, which was a huge benefit. I've been in management for over 22 years in the office, so that I already knew kind of how things worked, and to be able to train people, supervise them, and help them. They have to be self-disciplined and self-motivated at a sense, but you've also got to encourage them and build them up in order to keep the staff. So I'm sure I'm sitting on more than 300 or 400 years worth of experience right now with staff that, that it's almost the next one up mentality to get them trained up to do more responsibility, a different job. And one thing about it, I mean, in real estate and in our profession for appraisal, it's different. It's different all the time. The market changes all the time, and you have to really be on it to make sure that you're staying up with everything.
I appreciate your openness to that, because it is it's an emotional thing, and your employees are tasked with a lot of probably people that are upset and dealing with them, and just really appreciate you guys giving a high level of customer service to those. Thank you for all you're doing there.
Well, you're welcome, and it is very important to have a high level of customer service, because you know what, we don't always know everything about all the properties, but the property owner knows everything about their property. And if there's something that we need to be aware of, it's really good for them to communicate that with us.
So if a taxpayer has a property that they would like to appeal, what's the best information for them to bring in to help increase the likelihood of an adjustment?
I just sort of touched on that just a little bit ago, but definitely if there is something going on with their property, we may not know what's going on because it may be on the inside. You can't see it on the outside. Everything on the outside looks great, but they might have a leak in their basement. And so the foundation is failing them. And for whatever reason, they don't have the ability to have the funds to make those major repairs. We'll want to know about that. We're going to want to make an adjustment for it, because it's not the same as another property down the street that does not have that issue whatsoever. We might not know that from the outside. But we also want to know about sales comparables, because everything we do is based off of sales. And yes, our computer system does try to pull the best sales comparables it can and make those adjustments to it to make apples to apples. But if there's some sales comparables we may or may not be aware of, we'll want to know about that too. And we'll look at those when they bring them in. We also, if they're ag, a lot of our ag, or people who live in the rural areas, they have someone farming. They have 20 acres and part of it's being farmed, but they're not the ones farming it, but they still get the benefit of having farm. So if they bring in a lease that they're using a farmer down the street as, baling hay on, 10 of their acres, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt for that. Stuff like that would be very beneficial. Now in the commercial world, they have their income and expenses or their rent rolls. If they want to bring that in, we'd be interested in looking at that, because it would help us to get their income values more accurate, because we're having actual data to look at. So
you've been here with the county 20 plus years. What do you see some of our biggest challenges here at Sedgwick County?
I alluded at that a little bit. You know, we lost a lot of experience recently, and I think in another 5 years or so, and with just in our office, we're probably going to lose another 150, 200 years worth of experience again. We're in nothing. I'm just right on the cuff of a baby boomer, so I'm not really a baby boomer, but they're still retiring out.
Yep.
So that's where we're at right now.
Aging population?
Yeah, it is. And sustainability,
Yep.
to keep the ones we already have,
Yep.
to encourage them, you know, and to want to stay. The commissioners, you guys have done excellent at trying to make sure to take care of your employees. And I know it's tough to make sure the salaries are equivalent, but you guys have been working on that too. So that's a plus.
Okay, last question, kind of a fun question. Just, is there anything personal you'd like to share with us? Maybe a hidden talent, something that we don't know about you today?
Hidden talents. Okay, so you know, my husband and I have a Harley Davidson motorcycle,
Okay.
and we do enjoy riding. Now he does all the work. I just ride behind and enjoy all. It's just a different environment to be out in the air than it is if you were in a car or something. So we actually are going to go up to Glacier in Canada this year. So that'll be great. We usually run about 10,000 miles a year on it. So it's a good thing. I have a stepson. He lives up towards Iowa and Missouri. He has 4 children, a daughter and 3 sons. So we have grandchildren. And then my 2 children live up in the Kansas City area. My husband, of course, we were dating in college, broke up for 25 years, had 2 different families, reconnected. We've been married for almost 14 years now. So I grew up on a farm about, probably almost 100 miles west of here. And my family still farms out there. So I have a farm background.
Yep. That probably really helps with your job too, doesn't it?
It does, just to even be
Being a
able to
farm girl.
identify the crop that you're looking at, for sure. And, you know, to talk to the farmers when they come in or whatever, you have to be able you have to be able to talk to people and speak their
I'm
language.
a farm boy, small town. I get it. Same thing as you. So.
Exactly. So, that's a little, and I like to garden. Nothing like a homegrown tomato.
Yep.
So
I agree. Well, thank you so much for sharing. If you'd like to reach out to me, my email is probably the best, jeff.blubaugh@sedgwick.gov.
And you can also reach out to me if you would like to at deanna.aspedon@sedgwick.gov.
Deanna, thank you very much for
You're
joining
welcome.
me today.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you.